Hi guys, it's Rick Shiels down here at the brand new Quest Golf Academy here at Prairie Sports Village, and I'm now going to be testing and reviewing the new Callaway irons, the Callaway Big Bertha OS. Now, you won't be wrong in saying, hold on, was it not only last week you were reviewing a brand new Callaway set? Well, yes, I was. I was reviewing these, the Callaway Steelhead XRs, and literally a week later pops out the Big Bertha OS, both aimed at game improvement, forgiving market, higher handicappers, supposed to be long and forgiving. So hopefully we can figure out why. Why have they brought out another set? What is the difference? So Big Bertha, first off, Big Bertha has obviously been a very popular brand within Callaway for many, many years. Callaway brought out the Big Bertha irons last year, and this is the OS version, so the oversized version. And I didn't think it could get much more oversized than the Big Bertha. They were big. Well, these are bigger. Now, what they've done with this, they brought in a new piece of technology called EXO Cage. EXO Cage. And apparently it's where they've stripped the middle of the club, they've put reinforced bars in there, and then they've moved all of that weight into different parts of the head, certainly around the perimeter weighting and along the bottom. This helps house the new 360 cup face technology. I'm smiling because it feels like we've heard that story before. Along the back is a slight bit of carbon decoration, but also to help stabilize and keep again the weight out of the club. So it's like a stability. And actually, when I was just moving a golf ball a minute ago with the back of the club, it sounded plastic, the back of the head. So like a carbon plastic finish. Very big head, black, kind of almost polished nickel finish, which I think looks very, very high class and top end. This is a 7-iron, which is 30 degrees of loft. Exactly the same loft as the Steelhead XR has. 7-iron loft is strong for 30 degrees. They've got a tungsten weight in the bottom of the club to drag that centre of gravity down to still offer height, even though the loft is low. So they should be long hitting. Let's give it a hit. They look massive behind the ball. They really do. They look very confidence boosting, but also quite fat, a bit chunky looking behind. Let's give it a hit. So I'm using brand new Titleist Pro V1s as always when I test. Let's give this a hit. Super up in the air. Really high. A little fadey off line there, to be honest. 176 was that the carry on that? I'm not going to try and jump on these. I'm not going to try and hit them as far as I possibly can. That was a little bit offline. 178. That was a centered hit. I just didn't quite get the face square on that one. 6,000 spin, which is exactly what I would expect within the 6-iron. And a typical 6-iron is 30 degrees of loft. The 7 is 30 degrees of loft. So it's pretty much exactly the right spin rate for the loft that is presented at contact. Typically with a 7-iron you see 7,000, so it's less than what a 7-iron would be, but if we only measured it from loft, it's about the right spin rate. Can't get over the height. That's the one thing that always shocks me with these strong clubs. That's a big hit. That was to be fair, I crushed that. That sounded really good off the head. They're very loud, by the way. That was at 188 carry, a little bit left of target, but a big hit. Spun at slightly less, 5,000 and 5,500. Launch there was 16 degrees, so quite low for a 7, but then the peak height got up there at, I didn't see the number, I'll see it on the next one. But they seem so unbelievably high, it's untrue. I'll go one more with the 7. It looks like a 9-iron flight, but yet it goes 7-iron distance, yet it's 6-iron loft. None of it makes sense. But they seem to be performing really nicely. I've hit those very much in the middle, all 3 of those. That was 179 carry, spun at just under 6,000. What was the peak height? Is it giving me there? Peak height, 35 yards up in the air. So averaging at 34. So that average then at 182 yards of carry. A smidgen longer than what I was getting out of the Callaway XR Steelheads. I'll do a head-to-head between the two so we can get a real comparison. Stay tuned for that, that'll be coming soon. Yeah, did what it needed to do so far. Did what it needed to. Let's move on to the 4-iron. So moving into the 4-iron, that's the pitching wedge. I've not got confirmation of the loft on this, but it'll be around about that 21, 22 degree mark, maybe even slightly stronger. Very big head on the 4, and actually, because of the size of the head, you can actually see the tungsten weight that's in the bottom of the club sticking out at the butt end, or behind the club. You can actually see it. Quite a lot of offset on the 4-iron, as you would imagine, with a slightly longer, more forgiving club, and very chunky. Too chunky, if I'm honest. That looks a little bit too chunky. But I suppose the golfer who would hit this is contemplating between a 4-iron or a hybrid. So they've got to make something that looks like it's easy to hit. And this does look easy to hit, but visually chunky. Big fat top line, loads of offset, and I can literally see the club over the back of the top line, which I don't know, I don't like. 4-iron. Oh, a little bullet. Little bullet golf shot. Hit the flag. That was off the bottom of the club. Obviously, direction was fantastic. Flight was low on that one. It carried at 203. That was off the bottom. It wasn't a good hit. It was a missed strike, that one. Spun it around the correct mark, though, around that 4,000 mark for a 4-iron. Let's get one a little bit nicer than that. Toe in. That was hit from the toe. And I don't, obviously this is important. This is so important when seeing a club tested. It needs to be not hit all in the middle. It needs to be tested across the face. And that was a toey golf shot. 208 carry. Let's find what happens out in the middle. Again, the actual characteristics weren't too bad considering it was a bad golf shot. I think if hit out the well, this should be around about the 220 mark. Let's see if that's the case. That was mullered. That was pure. That was beautiful. Slam straight in. Bigger. Yeah, I thought around that 220 mark or just under that number. Let's see what it actually carried out. That was really phenomenal ball flight. 219, I thought so. I thought that might be about the number. Did okay considering I didn't strike those well. That last one was fantastic. Let me just move this now into pitching wedge. So like I said, did well considering actually I didn't hit 2 of them mediocre. I hit 1 of them phenomenal. Right. Pitching wedge. Again, not had confirmation of the loft, but it's going to be around about the 44 degree mark. Big head on this. Big and chunky head on this. Again, I don't know. I don't know that many golfers that like big chunky wedges. Generally see them like to be a little bit slimmer, but there'll be certainly golfers out there who will want forgiveness in this, and this might be the answer. So 140 I am away from this green, which I think is going to be about right for this club. That's gone up like a lob wedge. That has gone up like a lob wedge. Look at the spin on that. The height was sensational. 139 carry, it spun back 4 yards. Spin actually not as high as I expected. I thought from the way it reacted, it looked like it should have spun about 10,000. It only spun at 8,000, but because of the height, peak height, again, the same peak height as the 7-iron. But because it happened closer, it appeared much higher. Let's go another one. So high. That could be in the hole. Is it going to get there? Didn't spin quite as aggressively that time. Much better distance control shown there. 135 for 138 total. Spun at, might have been a little bit higher. Yeah, it spun higher, felt like it did, but didn't get the height to get it actually ripping back and zipping back there. Right, let me get the clubs. And I'm going to bring this one over here as well, because it's kind of these 2 clubs that I don't quite get where they sit. So the Callaway Big Bertha OS is the club I just tested. Big head, hollow finish, looks very, very stylish, very classy. Aimed at forgiveness, distance. Steelhead XR, bringing a design that looked back in the day, back into something new. Don't know if there's a price difference between the two, but for me, it's almost aimed at the same market. So I don't, and again, visually, it's got to be the Steelhead XR that wins every day visually. I don't know though. You know, that's down to you guys. Everyone likes different things. But visually, for me, the Steelhead XR definitely cuts it. I'll do a head-to-head with these two golf clubs because we need to figure out where do these two clubs sit in this family, extended family of Callaway golf clubs. It seems to be getting bigger. It seems to be getting very, very big, actually, Callaway, with their family of golf clubs going on at the moment. Where do these sit? And how many new names can they come back with? When are we going to see something Diablo or was it Octane, Diablo Octane, or what other ones did they have? They've had loads, haven't they? ERC. Can we get an ERC iron back, please? So I'm not quite sure where this sits in the family, but it does perform very well. It is very chunky. It's definitely going to be a club that when you sit down, you go, oh my goodness, this looks like it's going to go long, and it does. It seems to do what it says. I wasn't trying to smash those. I was trying to hit those just normal golf shots. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do click subscribe. The big button is here. If you are new, do you like the new academy? Do you like the new teaching bay? It feels like there's so much more space. It's great. Got some more technology coming in this bay very soon. Comment below what do you think about the new Callaway irons. And I'll probably see you next week with another Callaway review. No, I'm joking. Hopefully not. I'll do a head-to-head with these two, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. And that was the Callaway Big Bertha OS iron.